I'm Azaria Tagaya, and this is Nightline, the top stories. PM and opposition reached consensus on Parliament's role tackling COVID-19. And Malaysian bourse soars as investors stay bullish. Good morning. Prime Minister Datuk Seri Ismail Sabri Yaakob and the top three Pakatan Harapan PH leaders have reached a consensus, and that's to strengthen the function of Parliament as a check and balance on the executive. In a joint statement signed by the Prime Minister and the three leaders, they said they agreed on and understood the importance of the independence of the judiciary, institutional reforms and good governance. Aside from the Prime Minister, the statement was also signed by Opposition Leader Datuk Seri Anwar Ibrahim, DAP Secretary-General Lim Guan Eng and Amanah President Muhammad Sabu. They said a consensus was reached to strengthen the function of Parliament as a responsible and constructive institution that serves as a check and balance on the executive so that it is more transparent and fulfills the people's desires. The joint statement was issued after a meeting that the PH leaders had with Datuk Seri Ismail Sabri at Perdana Putra after being invited by the Prime Minister. The four leaders said the meeting went on for more than an hour and focused on reaching common ground over the management of COVID-19 and improving the economy. The four leaders also agreed and understood how important judicial independence, institutional reforms and good governance were to ensure a more conducive situation for the people and the nation in the context of a Malaysian family. Speaking to the media after the meeting, Datuk Seri Anwar said PH has agreed to help diffuse the political tension. The condition is if Datuk Seri Ismail Sabri's government focused on pro-rakyat programs.
Kita beri penjaminan kalau program pro-rakyat, program penanganan COVID ini lebih berkesan, maka dia tak ada masalah untuk kita menjamin supaya keadaan itu lebih terkawal.
Datuk Seri Anwar, who is Port Dickson MP, also said that they would not make it difficult for Datuk Seri Ismail Sabri in Parliament if the programs were implemented and running. In the meantime, Sultan of Perak, Sultan Nazrin Muizzuddin Shah, praised UMNO-led Menteri Besar Datuk Sarani Mohamad for setting a precedent by reaching out to assemblymen from the opposition Pakatan Harapan PH coalition to involve them in state governance policies. The Perak ruler said he had decreed minimising partisan politics and that Datuk Sarani's initiative was laudable for prioritising the state's development and social well-being. The Sultan said that during the ceremony appointing the Kota Tampan State Assemblyman as the Menteri Besar of Perak, he had decreed that the state government set an example in minimising political disputes. Responding to the decree, the Menteri Besar, when tabling the 2021 budget, announced an even allocation for all 59 members of the State Assembly, regardless of whether the members are from the opposition or the ruling party.
Langkah yang dirintis oleh Yang Amat Berhormat Menteri Besar merupakan langkah berani memperkenalkan budaya baru dalam pentadbiran negeri. Langkah tersebut mungkin satu langkah permulaan yang kecil, tetapi langkah kecil ini jika terus disuburkan akan membantu melonjakkan budaya politik baru aras tinggi yang kurang berkonfrontasi sifatnya.
He said this in his royal address while opening the first session of the fourth year of the 14th State Legislative Assembly at the Perak Darul Rizwan building in Ipoh on Wednesday morning. The Sultan said the Menteri Besar also allowed all the members of the House to attend meetings of the District Development Action Committee, District Focus Group Committee and District Disaster Management Committee, and that the move has made it possible for all members of the House to participate directly and constructively to formulate governance that meets the needs of the people more effectively and more meaningfully. Sultan Nazri also urged all assemblymen to accept the Menteri Besar's overture. He urged them to appreciate this new culture by embodying a mature political spirit of teamwork, mutual respect and helping each other with the efforts undertaken in the interests of the state and the people, in addition to working together to cultivate the spirit of unity and citizenship among those of various races, those who profess various religions, those who practice various cultures and those who master various languages. At the local bourse in Kuala Lumpur, foreign buying helped propel the key index sharply higher for the fourth consecutive session on Wednesday. That's on the back of buying interest in the index-linked stocks. At the day's close, the KL Composite Index closed up 16.43 points or 1.06% to 1,569.80. In the past few days, the KLCI has risen 51.77 points, and Wednesday's closing figure was the highest in more than 2 months. Dealers noted foreign funds had been net buyers for the past few sessions and helped Bursa Malaysia regain its footing. Stock market data showed foreign funds were net buyers of local equities at 154 million ringgit on Tuesday. Local institutions and retail investors were net sellers at 105 million ringgit and 49 million ringgit respectively. The Yang di-Pertuan Agong on Wednesday handed over the keys of houses donated by Yayasan Al Sultan Abdullah to recipients in Kampung Sungai Gancung, Aceh and Kampung Tanjung Pulai in Pekan, Pahang. Al Sultan Abdullah Riayatuddin Al Mustafa Billah Shah was accompanied by his sons, the Regent of Pahang, Tengku Hassan Al Ibrahim Alam Shah and Tengku Panglima Muda Tengku Ahmad Ismail Muazzam Shah. The King also spent some time greeting the recipients, which consisted of asnaf, senior citizens, persons with disabilities and single mothers whose houses were badly damaged by the floods that hit Pahang earlier this year. Al Sultan Abdullah, who is also the Sultan of Pahang, also presented donations to recipients before inspecting the 660 square feet single-story houses, which have 3 rooms, 2 bathrooms, a comfortable dining area and are equipped with furniture. In expressing their gratitude to the King, some of the recipients who lived in the area for the past 40 years said they did not expect to receive such a huge gift at an old age. Raja Permaisuri Agong Tunku Haja Aziza Amina Maimuna Iskandaria on Wednesday expressed her utmost appreciation for the hard work shown by the country's female workforce, especially the frontliners in tackling the COVID-19 pandemic.
Saya ingin mengambil kesempatan ini untuk mengenang jasa pekerja wanita khususnya yang berada di barisan hadapan, terutamanya para jururawat, doktor, polis dan lain-lain, personel kritikal yang telah menjadi benteng negara dalam memutuskan rangkaian wabak ini dengan penuh ikhlas, amanah, kesungguhan dan semangat juang.
Tunku Aziza said this in conjunction with the virtual launching of the 59th National Women's Day celebration. The Queen hopes this year's Women's Day celebration will give awareness to women to continue taking up the challenge to combat the COVID-19 pandemic.
A world-renowned economist, leader in sustainable development, public policy analyst, senior United Nations advisor and best-selling author. Also syndicated columnist whose monthly newspaper columns appear in more than 100 countries. Money Matters speaks with Professor Jeffrey Sachs with me, Muhammad Ahmad Hamdan, this Saturday at 5 p.m. only on TV3.
The Selangor government is making preparations to provide the booster dose of the COVID-19 vaccine under its Selangor Vaccine Program, or Selvax. State Public Health Unity Women and Family Development Committee Chairman Dr. Siti Maria Mahmud told the State Assembly on Wednesday that preparations included to provide the vaccine for those aged 18 and below, which is subject to approval by the Special Committee for Ensuring Access to COVID-19 Vaccine Supply.
Selgate bercadang untuk meneruskan penjualan vaksin melalui klinik panel di seluruh negara untuk melaksanakan pemberian dos vaksin. Selain itu, Selvax juga dalam persiapan untuk suntikan ketiga booster shot sekiranya perlu, dan bagi penerima vaksin bagi golongan umur 18 tahun ke bawah tertakluk kepada kelulusan oleh jawatankuasa khas jaminan akses bekalan vaksin COVID.
She said this in response to a question from PH Balakong Assemblyman Wong Siew Kee, who wanted to know about the Selvax community and Selvax industry programs. Dr. Siti Maria said that as of August 22nd, the number of vaccines dispensed under Selvax community was more than 224,000 doses, and there were more than 275,000 doses remaining. For Selvax industry, more than 142,000 doses of the vaccine had been administered until August 22nd, out of 750,000 doses allocated. On the federal government's decision to close 27 vaccination centres in the Klang Valley, Dr. Siti Maria said it was due to lower turnout as more individuals had been vaccinated.
COVID-19 cases in the country continued to breach the 20,000 mark on Wednesday, with 22,642 new infections recorded. Selangor had the most cases nationwide as the number rose to 6,325 new cases, followed by Sabah, which reported 3,224 cases, and Kedah with 2,279. Health Director General Tan Sri Dr. Nur Hisham Abdullah said that of the new cases on Wednesday, only 5 were reported. He also revealed that only 478, or 2.1% of the cases, were in categories 3, 4 and 5. There were 42 new clusters, with 23 related to workplaces. There are 1,003 COVID-19 patients currently being treated in intensive care units, with 490 of them needing ventilators. In addition, 265 more fatalities were also recorded, bringing the total number of deaths from COVID-19 in the country to 14,818. Coming up, over 20 million worth of contraband cigarettes and liquor seized. Back on Nightline, the Kuala Lumpur High Court was told on Wednesday that Datuk Sri Ahmad Zahid Hamidi is in hospital for treatment of a slipped disc. A medical specialist said that due to his condition, chances of the UMNO president attending court proceedings on September 6th for his corruption case involving funds of Yayasan Akal Budi was only possible. On Tuesday, the court was scheduled to hear submissions at the end of the prosecution's case. However, it was postponed as the accused was hospitalized last Sunday due to injuries sustained as a result of a fall. Following this, Justice Datuk Colin Lawrence Sequeira had issued a subpoena to the doctor to come to the court to explain the medical condition of the defendant, as well as the procedure the accused has to undergo and to ascertain the recovery period. Police have seized 3 containers laden with untaxed cigarettes and beer worth about 20 million ringgit in separate raids in Shah Alam and Klang. Bukit Aman Internal Security and Public Order Director Datuk Zainal Abidin Kasim said the seizure was the biggest this year for the Central Brigade of the General Operations Force.
In a press conference on Wednesday, he said the raids were conducted following 2 months of intelligence gathering. In the first raid on Tuesday, 2 container lorries were stopped on a road in Section 33 Shah Alam. Upon inspection, 87,150 cartons of cigarettes with unpaid duty were found. Both lorry drivers, aged 29 and 35, were arrested. The unpaid tax on the seized cigarettes is estimated at 12 million ringgit. Datuk Zainal Abidin said further investigations led police to a warehouse in Kapar Klang on the same day.
Telah menahan satu lagi warga negara Malaysia berumur 34 tahun di sebuah permis di Kapar, Kelang Utara. Hasil pemeriksaan pasukan polis telah menjumpai sejumlah 1,295 kotak arak yang kita percaya tidak melunaskan cukai disembunyikan di dalam sebuah kontainer dengan anggaran nilai barang adalah 1.5 juta ringgit.
He said initial investigations revealed that the 3 drivers received 100 ringgit to 200 ringgit each to deliver the items within the Klang Valley and up to 300 ringgit to other destinations. He said that the suspects claimed that they did not know who hired them to make the deliveries, adding that further investigations were ongoing to track down the mastermind of the syndicate.
The Labuan Marine Police thwarted an attempt by 3 individuals to smuggle contraband liquor of various brands. Its commanding officer, ASP Saidul Ma'ruf Rosli, said the 3 men, who were the lorry drivers, were arrested following checks on their vehicles. Inspections on the lorries then revealed several types of liquor with unpaid tax meant to be smuggled into Sabah. The lorries were believed to be travelling from the duty-free island and was heading to Menumbo using a ferry. Total seizure was estimated to be over 660,000 ringgit, including tax. The suspects and items seized were taken to Beaufort District Police Headquarters for investigation. The case was being investigated under the Customs Act 1967. In Kedah, a government retiree has pleaded not guilty on Wednesday at the Alor Star Sessions Court to a charge of criminal breach of trust involving more than 1.77 million ringgit belonging to a Siamese temple. 71-year-old San Yap Din A. Yat entered the plea before Sessions Judge Sharifah Nurazlita Said Salim Idid. The former enforcement head of a government agency in Perlis was charged with committing the offence at Wat Bunyaram, Padang Sera, Kodiang, in the district of Kubang Pasu between March 7th and October 25th, 2016. The charge under Section 406 of the Penal Code provides for imprisonment of up to 10 years and whipping and a fine upon conviction. The court allowed San Yap, who was unrepresented, bail of 15,000 ringgit with 1 choti and set September 26 for mention. In Malacca, the Ayer Keros Sessions Court set September 29th for sentencing of a woman and her lover for child abuse. Judge Maziah Johari Muhammad Tajuddin set the date after the 38-year-old security guard and the 30-year-old unemployed woman, who is the victim's mother, pleaded guilty to the charge. The couple was charged with committing the offence on the 5-year-old girl at about 11:30 a.m. on August 14th at a house in Campur Garden City, Bandar Hilir. The charge was framed under the Child Act, read together with the Penal Code, which provides an imprisonment for up to 10 years or maximum fine of 20,000 ringgit or both upon conviction. After the break, Indonesia approves Russia's Sputnik V vaccine for emergency use. We're back now with the foreign news. A classified U.S. intelligence report delivered to the White House on Tuesday was inconclusive on the origins of the COVID-19 pandemic. According to U.S. media reports, it was in part due to a lack of information from China. The assessment, ordered by President Joe Biden 90 days ago, was unable to definitively conclude whether the virus that first emerged in central China had jumped to humans via animals or escaped a highly secure research facility in Wuhan. They said parts of the report could be declassified in the coming days. The debate over the origins of the virus that has killed more than 4 million people and paralyzed economies worldwide has become increasingly contentious. And when Biden assigned the investigation, he had said U.S. intelligence agencies were split over the two likely scenarios, animals or lab. In the meantime, China on Wednesday urged the World Health Organization to visit the U.S. military biolab Fort Detrick after rejecting its calls for a second stage of the COVID origins probe focusing on Chinese laboratories last month. Grappling with a surging virus wave, Indonesia on Wednesday took another step to boost vaccinations, granting emergency use approval for another vaccine, Russia's Sputnik V. This is the 7th COVID-19 vaccine cleared for use in Indonesia, which has so far fully vaccinated just over 32.6 million people, a little under 16% of the vaccination target of 208.26 million. Indonesia's Food and Drug Supervisory Agency said the vaccine can be given to people aged 18 years and above in 2 doses within a 3-week period. The agency's head, Penny Lukito, said the vaccine had mild to moderate side effects during trials, including flu-like symptoms such as fever, chills, joint pain and muscle pain. He added data from the third phase of clinical trials shows that the Sputnik V vaccine provides 91.6% efficacy. A total of 18,671 new infections were recorded on Wednesday, raising the cumulative count to over 4 million cases. The daily death toll was an alarming 1,041 in the past 24 hours, pushing the fatality count to 129,293. Vietnam is offering patients who have recovered from the coronavirus a monthly allowance if they agree to stay on at stretched hospitals to help health workers struggling to cope with an influx of infected people. After successfully containing COVID-19 for much of the pandemic, Vietnam is facing its worst outbreak to date, driven by the virulent Delta variant, with a surge in cases and deaths ramping up pressure on health authorities. The plan to bring in recovered patients was launched this week in Ho Chi Minh City, which is the epicenter of the current outbreak, accounting for half of the country's nearly 185,000 infections and 7,302 deaths, or about 80% of total fatalities. Working alongside health workers, the role of the former patients in the program, called Patient Zero with Patient Zero, is to support public healthcare services. Rocky start for Malaysian contingent at Tokyo Paralympic Games. Sports coming up after this. We're back now with sports. National swimmer Muhammad Nur Shaiful Zulkafli missed the opportunity to advance to the men's 200-meter freestyle S5 physical disability final at the Tokyo Paralympic Games on Wednesday. National Sports Council Paralympic Division Director Muhammad Sofian Hamzah confirmed that the Sarawak athlete had his participation cancelled due to a technical error in the first heat. Nur Shaiful, who is making his debut in the prestigious games, finished 5th out of 6 swimmers in the first heat with a time of 2 minutes 56.78 seconds before getting the bad news from the referee. Spanish swimmer Anthony Ponce Betran topped the heat, followed by Brazil's Daniel de Faria Diaz in second place and Dmitry Cherniev of the Russian Olympic Committee in third place. Only the best 8 swimmers from the 2 qualifying heats make the cut for the final. However, the 26-year-old Nur Shaiful still has a chance to make up for his frustration, as he has 3 more events after this. Earlier, Malaysian table tennis player Chi Chao Ming had to succumb to a defeat at the hands of Mohamed Khalem of Italy. Mohamed Khalem took just 20 minutes to defeat the 2018 Asian Para Games gold medalist 11-6, 11-7, 11-4 in the men's singles TT9 physical impairment category at the Tokyo Metropolitan Gymnasium. The 23-year-old Chao Ming, who was born with the disability and is making his Paralympic debut, is next scheduled to meet Joshua Stacey of Great Britain on Thursday. As we wrap up Nightline this time around, let's take a look as fearless riders reached heights and pushed themselves to the limit at the Red Bull Roof Ride in Katowice in Poland. With that, I'm Azaria Tagaya. Thank you for watching and stay safe.
Just